Have you ever wondered why the world's most powerful architects, the men who claim to be building a connected future, are quietly buying up massive tracts of land in the most remote corners of New Zealand? Why are they building underground fortresses equipped with self-sustaining power grids, private water sources, and high-level security? They aren't preparing for a global holiday, they are preparing for the exit. Throughout this series, we have decoded how the Rockefeller blueprint built the modern world. The monopolies, the educational factories, the philanthropy masks, and the digital refineries of your consciousness. But there is one final move in the playbook, the move they never talk about in the media. It is the strategy of controlled demolition. When a system becomes too heavy, too complex, and ultimately unsustainable, the architects don't try to save it. They prepare to jump. Welcome to the finale of the Aethel Cipher. Today we reveal the ultimate exit strategy and how you can build your own fortress of sovereignty before the door closes for good. In 1913, the global financial landscape went through a massive shift. The creation of centralized banking systems and modern taxation wasn't a historical accident. It was a planned transition. The Rockefellers and their peers knew that the era of visible conquest and physical monopolies was ending. They needed a way to move their wealth into invisible structures, foundations, global trusts, and legal shields that could survive the collapse of any single nation or currency. We are currently in a similar great transition. The old debt-based system is cracking under its own weight. Inflation is the modern kerosene. It burns through the savings of the masses while the elite move their chips into hard assets, strategic autonomy, and alternative networks. They understand a fundamental truth of history. Systems are temporary, but power is fluid. If you are waiting for the system to fix itself, you are the one who will be left behind in the ruins. The new Rockefellers don't wait for the tide to turn. They build the boats while the ocean is still calm. The greatest trap of the 21st century is seamless integration. We are dependent on their algorithms for information, their centralized banks for survival, and their digital platforms for our very identity. This dependency is the standard oil pipe of our time. To the architects, a dependent population is a predictable population, and as we learned in Part 4, predictability is the raw material of control. The exit strategy begins with identifying the sovereignty gap in your own life. Where are you vulnerable? If the digital grid goes dark, or if your access to the central pipe is restricted for any reason, do you still have a legacy? The elite are diversifying not just their wealth, but their entire existence. They are moving into uncorrelated assets, land, private infrastructure, and decentralized networks. They are creating a world where they can exist outside the grid while everyone else is locked inside it. This is the ultimate monopoly, the monopoly on freedom itself. To truly survive the exit, you need more than just physical assets. You need a total shift in your cognitive hardware. In an age of manufactured panic and algorithmic dopamine, the ultimate power move is stoic detachment. When the world is in chaos, the sovereign mind remains an unbreakable observer. This isn't just a philosophical luxury, it is a tactical necessity for survival in the 21st century. When the media triggers your fear, they are trying to refine you into a state of predictability. Panic is a data point they can manage and monetize, but the anomaly stays centered. By practicing mental sovereignty, the ability to think and analyze outside the collective noise, you become a cipher that the system cannot solve. You stop reacting to the crisis solution loop and start creating your own path. This is the difference between a subject and a sovereign. One follows the script written by others, the other writes their own reality. So, how do you execute your own exit strategy? It begins with personal operational security. You must build a system of self-governance. Just as a global corporation uses high-level protocols to protect its intellectual property and future stability, you must follow a standard of personal quality control. Audit your habits, your network, and your assets with cold, analytical precision. The goal is to build an unbreakable legacy. This means moving from being a consumer to being an asset manager of your own life. Protect your privacy like it's a state secret. Diversify your skills so you are valuable in any economy, whether it is physical, digital, or something entirely new. And most importantly, build a tribe of other anomalies. The Rockefellers never worked in isolation. They built a network of strategic loyalty that lasted for a century. Your legacy is only as strong as the people who stand with you when the grid fails. The story of Rockefeller isn't just a story about oil or money, it's a story about the architecture of reality. They showed us that with enough vision, discipline, and a cold, unsentimental understanding of systems, a single family can reshape the world for generations. But now, the tools they used to build their empire are in your hands. You have the access, the information, and the technology to build your own standard. The door to the old world is closing. The digital oil is being refined. The octopus is reaching its final form. But for those who can see the code, this isn't an end, it's an opportunity. This is where you decouple from the masses and join the architects. Be unpredictable, be sovereign, be the anomaly. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the Aethel Cipher. If you have followed all 5 parts of this playbook, you now hold the keys to the kingdom. The question is, what will you build with them?